Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Tennis stars demand privacy after invasive reality show cameras show Coco Gauff Racket smash. Coco Gauff walked off court following a heavy defeat to Elina Svitolina in the Australian Open quarterfinals last month, found what she thought was a private area away from broadcast cameras, and smashed her racket 7 times in a moment of raw frustration. It was an authentic reaction to a difficult loss, except the moment was not private. One of the many behind-the-scenes cameras installed in the hallways, training areas, and tunnels of Rod Laver Arena captured Gauff annihilating her racket, and the footage spread like wildfire. Gauff said she tried to find a private spot where she could vent, but her efforts were in vain. At the Australian Open, someone is usually watching, and seldom few places are sacred. I feel like certain moments. The same thing happened to Arena after I played her in the final of US Open. I feel like they don't need to broadcast, the two-time major champion later said in her press conference. She was referring to world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka, who in 2023 lost the US Open final to Gauff, went into the players' cool-down area, grabbed a racket from her bag, slammed it against the ground 4 times to destroy it, then walked over to a rubbish bin and disposed of it. Content is everything. Many players empathized with Gauff's situation in Melbourne and echoed her frustration at what has become an increasingly intrusive experience at tournaments like the Australian Open. The question is, are we tennis players, or are we, like, animals in the zoo where they are observed even when they poop? You know, said world number 2 Iga Swiatek. A player known for her meticulous routines, Swiatek has been frequently filmed doing mental exercises in the training room before matches, with footage of her lying on the ground with her eyes closed going viral. It would be nice to have some privacy. It would be nice also to, I don't know, have your own process and not always be observed, added the 6-time major winner. The Australian Open, one of tennis' 4 major tournaments, was the first to introduce fly-on-the-wall cameras back in 2016. Along with hot mics transmitting audio, the cameras capture footage from the moment players arrive at the drop-off area at the stadium, through the hallways, to the warm-up and cool-down areas, and stream it live on a YouTube channel. The hot mics were particularly problematic and were eventually removed, but the idea of capturing these off-court moments and streaming live to fans worldwide became a permanent fixture of Melbourne Park's broadcast offering and was soon adopted, to a varying extent, by the US Open and other events. In 2024, the Sydney Morning Herald reported that 45 behind-the-scenes cameras were scattered around the Melbourne Park venue. All rights holders have access to the feed from these cameras, which also provide the majority of the content live-streamed on the Australian Open's AO Blue Zone Daily Show on YouTube. A few of those streams have nearly 150,000 views. Right-pointing black triangle. Some of the moments grabbed from the bowels of Rod Laver Arena could be construed as harmless fun. There was one of Roger Federer a few years back getting stopped at an entrance by security personnel asking for his accreditation. But then there were other moments that felt like they shouldn't be shared with the rest of the world. Like when Paula Badosa tried to cheer up then-boyfriend Stefanos Tsitsipas after he had just lost a match and he wasn't having it. Or in 2019, when Petra Martic was captured on camera in a hallway, slumped to the ground weeping uncontrollably after losing a match to Sloane Stephens. It's not comfortable at all. Conversations around the invasive nature of these cameras have been taking place for a decade, but the Gauff incident has reignited the debate. Are tournaments going too far in their quest for more eyeballs at the expense of player privacy? It's not comfortable at all. Swiss world number 11 Belinda Bencic told The National in Abu Dhabi. You have that in your mind always, but you cannot be free, even in a positive way, but also in a negative way. You always feel watched and it feels almost like you're in a reality show. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of it. I know it's super interesting for the fans and for people watching that. And I guess tennis Twitter can gossip about us, but it's not really what we're here for. Bencic cited a viral video that showed her daughter Bella, who turns 2 in April, playing in the gym at the United Cup, an event also run by Tennis Australia. I enjoyed the video myself, but in a way it shouldn't happen. It's too private, added Bencic. And Coco deserves a moment of privacy. She just played in a stadium where she had to keep her emotions together. And then she goes outside of the stadium and she has to still keep her emotions together. It's not possible. A call for common sense. Badosa believes the issue needs to be addressed and says the cameras add to the overall stress a player experiences at a tournament. It's a big concern, and so seeing what's happening now, and it's been happening in the last years, like even me when I had my personal life on display. And it was like everywhere I was walking around, said the Spanish former world number 2, whose 2-year relationship with Tsitsipas ended last year. It's not easy because at the end of the day people love to judge and people love to comment, and if they have more reasons to comment, it's never easy. The grass courts of Wimbledon have always been a cathedral of restraint. Whites only. Applause at the proper decibel. Emotions folded neatly like linen napkins between points. But this year, something new glinted beneath the English sun. Not just the lenses of long telephoto cameras peering from center court, but the small, restless red lights of a streaming giant's ambition. When Coco Gauff smashed her racket against the sideline advertising board after a brutal 3-set loss, the sound cracked sharper than the ball against strings. It was not the first racket to meet its end in a burst of frustration, nor would it be the last. But within hours, the clip ricocheted far beyond the ivy walls of Wimbledon, trimmed, captioned, slowed down, and scored with dramatic music for a global audience on Netflix. The show, pitched as a raw, behind-the-scenes look at the lives of elite players, promised access. Access to locker-room pep talks. Access to whispered strategy sessions. Access to the tremor in a player's hand before match point. It promised to peel back the polished veneer of professional tennis and reveal the human being underneath. It did not promise mercy. The new baseline. Professional tennis has always been a paradox. Players stand alone on court, yet their careers are choreographed by teams, coaches, physiotherapists, agents, sponsors, federations. Their faces beam from billboards and endorsement campaigns. Their social media feeds are curated windows into training sessions and trophy lifts. But between those windows lie curtains. For decades, those curtains were drawn around the locker room, the hotel suite, the quiet car ride back from defeat. The cameras stopped at the press conference podium. The rest belonged to the players. Then came the era of sports docuseries. Formula One had its transformation. Football clubs,